This is Wycombe Sound.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Art Show on 106.6 FM at Wycombe Sound. I'm your host Dane Cobain. We'll be here for the next hour or so talking about the local art scene. We have different guests each week. We share local and unsigned indie music. We head over to the Rhylight Zone for a short story and or some poetry. And we also head over to the Ilk Shed later on in the show to get a weekly review from Twangling Jack Ford. So, if you want to find out more about the art show, you can find us online. If you search on Facebook for the art show on Wycombe Sound, you should be able to find us. You can listen on demand on iTunes and Spotify, and we're also repeated Monday nights on Wycombe Sound and on the Wycombe Sound Listen Again. And you can reach out to me here at the studio on dane.cobain@wycombesound.org.uk, which is dane.cobain@wycombesound.org.uk. This week we are chatting to music legends, Sloth In The City. So they are a duo who play some really cool stuff really. They have a mixture of sort of pop and folk sensibilities with a little bit of classical training thrown in. So we're going to head over to those later on. But first we're going to head over to the Rhylight Zone. And this week we have some more poetry by myself, Dane Cobain. So let's go check that out.
Bad news for philosophers. Why, I'm like a vampire. 1. I can't come in unless you let me in. I must be asked to pass the threshold or I'll stand outside in the rain. 2. Sunlight hurts my eyes. I don't rise and shine. I lose my mind because I'm tired and stay up all night. 3. I don't like garlic. Actually, that's a lie. I love garlic, but let's not talk about that. 4. I regularly drink the blood of virgins, assuming virgins bleed beer and cry strawberry tears, which I'm pretty sure they do. I don't know. I've never met a virgin. 5. I'm probably immortal, which is why I'm so scared of dying. 6. Despite being probably immortal, I will still die if you put a stake through my heart. Please don't do that. 7. I hold dominion over wolverines. I break bread with bats and liaise with the children of the night. 8. I don't like mirrors. When I was 17 and my mum went on holiday without me, I covered every mirror in the house with a bedsheet. 9. I could sleep for 1,000 years. Sometimes I could even sleep longer. 10. Society despises me and ignorant townsfolk chase me with pitchforks because they're scared of the new millennium. Bring me blood and lots of it. Fear. Of the unknown, from the lack of sleep and the vertigo, from home to across the globe, the shaking hands and the glints in the eyes of the elderly gentlemen still working themselves into the grave. Of failure, of building paper aeroplanes overtaken by Iranians, or of blaming Homo sapiens singing Nearer My God to Thee. Of diffusion, like the confusing illusion of a musical movement or a constant improvement that soothes you in and out of the European Union. Of flying, of oh my god I'm going to dying, or of foreign policemen claiming writers have no diplomatic immunity. Of opportunities, of nicotine yellow pages in second-hand bookshops, or of booze-stained notebooks in the sunlight. Of maybe leaving the bathroom light on, of sleeping with the lights off and riding the night bus. Of fear itself. Happy hour. Happy hour is the hour to be in. Not quite an hour and more like a lifetime, or more like a warning to worry about. Happy hour, where the drinks go down easy, cheap as chips from a cheap chip shop. I'd like my life to be a happy hour, too short and full of laughter. Good God. Good God, it's a good job, it's a good blog, like a good dog in a mugshot or a pug gone to be a bulldog in a gun shop. Good God, I think I'm dreaming, something evil without meaning, the bleak streets and the black sheep screaming peaceful treated equal. Good God, they say the Pope tokes dope and I hope they're only joking, he'll only choke on soap and make 'em vote with coloured smoke again. Good God, I made a confession about my indiscretions, mentioned pendants and emeralds and I confess a false confession. Good God, I'm the midnight man with an in-flight banner, big old house for you to live in. Good God, I forgot what I wanted to mention. Bleed passion. Bleed passion, my friend, you are a diamond, and the dark night has nothing on you, love. Fear is my worst enemy. I start to shake uncontrollable until the wheels fall off. So please bleed passion. Red is the colour of my nightmares, black is the colour of my daydreams. Love is the game changer, a bruised type of passion like a coconut you can't get into. Bleed passion, my friend, you're barely alive and the light shines down on everyone. Passion is the fruit you chew on. You will reap what you sow, like growing crops in an allotment. Bleed passion and believe you can move the world on its axis. Senses. The most beautiful thing I saw today was probably the shadow play made by the way the light falls. It turned molehills into mountains and leaking pipes into magic fountains, spouting steam in little streams and cleaning the streets of people. The most beautiful smell I smelled today was the smell of summer rain, not quite falling but gathering in clouds as the flowers reached out with the waiting hands of the 5,000. The most beautiful sound I heard today turned out to be nothing at all. My ears are blocked up with an infection or something and I think I might fall over. The most beautiful taste I tasted today was the taste of cigarettes and coffee, because I need a break more than anyone. The most beautiful thing I touched today will have to wait until the evening when my lady friend comes over and takes her clothes off. I'd like to see the shadow play, smell summer rain, hear nothing, taste cigarettes and coffee and touch my lady friend in the same time at the same place forever. The days eat their tails like a starving snake. It's Monday and 2 cups of coffee get the heart going, and there are too many days and too many nights, and the week ahead is a blank piece of paper with your name on it. It's Tuesday and maybe you ought to eat something. There's a fire in your eyes and no food in your belly, and Mum says you ought to get some sleep, dear. It's Wednesday, where you hope you can barely make it, like shoveling snow in a thunderstorm to get the car off the driveway, and there's something in the air that tastes like freedom. Holy mother of God, it's frickin' Thursday and my mind is gone, but the show must go on. I should have booked the day off work. And it's finally Friday and I've piqued my disdain for the weekdays and my blood is running low on alcohol. It's Saturday, 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 my friend, I missed you long time. And it's Sunday and a grey rain simply says it all. I'm out of money and I'm too tired to hoover my apartment. It's Monday and the cycle starts all over again. Monday. Hello Monday, my hungover friend, how are you fixed for the weekend? Is your red the same as my red and will you go to bed with me? I'm not gonna lie, I think you have it in for me. Monday, my mundane day is dazed and maybe lazy, but Monday I think I fell in love with you. It's your smile and the way you cross your legs, Monday. I tried to write a song for you. And I think that fate arrived too late today, and Monday you're somehow beautiful. I think you forgot to pay council tax. Monday, don't let me down, I've got £10 riding on your shenanigans. Maybe it rained on your birthday, or maybe you lied about sleeping at night. Sometimes I just can't understand you. Monday, you have no life to lose. You sold your soul to the gods of old, which is where you get your name from. I'd better stop making out with Tuesday. Cats and dogs. Cats and dogs get stressed, my friend. You're not the only one. There are fireworks on the 4th of July, and men with strange scents, smells like leather as they slide your post through the letterbox. Sometimes they're afraid of the wind and rain, and sometimes they bark in the night time. Sometimes they hiss with a growl and a kiss, purring, "Please, Mr. Foodman, let me out again." Sometimes they stretch with their paws on their hands, following yoga steps like a downward-facing dog. Sometimes they're scared when the light goes out. It's a primal thing that we still feel in the evening. Cats and dogs get stressed, my friend, but not as much as goldfish. They remember 6 seconds and forget themselves, and then they get stressed all over again. It's no surprise you want to be a lion. Find your roar. We're going on an adventure. We are a celebration in every town that wants one. 3 songs to sing along with. Unslump yourself. Chase down Gandalf and listen to the birds chirping wordless, trying to tell us every day is an adventure. We set sail for Monkey Island, met pirates called Guybrush, and this cake is just a lie, my friend. This life has no second chances. Explore and have fun. Find someone you love and let them love you, or say hello to someone new today. Then someone banged a drum like a Stone Roses song, so we danced the Grim Fandango and sat down again. Being outside is good for you. It's scientifically proven, which is why we're sitting inside with the lights on, and I'm fine with that. I climbed up a hill to be here, and this adventure isn't over yet. It's time. Pack up your bags and get ready. Your adventure awaits, so step up to the plate and face it. Every day is a game you wake up in, so save your place and keep on playing. Spiders. Spiders have feelings too, you know. Spiders have mums and dads and little brothers and sisters, 8-legged aunties and uncles, and possibly a mortgage from Halifax. Besides, they're just as scared as you are, only they don't have size on their side. So do not kill the spiders. Just pick them up on a piece of paper and release them into the wild. I know I wouldn't like it if I got squashed because of my hairy legs and my big black body. Do not fear the spiders. Horror writers will exploit you, and poets with nothing else to write about. Never trust a train driver. Never trust a train driver to take you to a place where livers can be sanitised and lungs can be replaced. Never trust a train driver to tell you where you are. The sound of intercoms and the buffet car. Never trust a train driver or taxi driving fools. Never trust an omnibus to take your kids to school. Never trust a train driver to get to work on time unless your boss pays bonuses for faults along the line. Never trust a train driver is all I have to say. Only trust a train driver to throw your time away. Sketches. I'm so tired. Quit talking so I can close my eyes and see an orchard on the membrane. Passion fruits of the mind. Hats off to exotic dancers, a neutered franchise that bleeds ink and stains the bed sheets with a memory. Baby, promise you'll never forget. Baby, I'm glad you can't see me now, wiping the crust from junky eyes and watching the dictator's sunrise. Stupid, stupid sunrise. I swear you'll be the death of me. Isn't it enough to bring sobriety to a desperate man? Now you mean to tease me with the promise of a new dawn. Tomorrow, today, but never now, because we live 6 seconds at a time. Sketches in a picture book that no one ever opens.
Alright, that was myself, Dane Cobain, with this week's reading for the Rhyolite Zone. Those were some poems. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wycombe Sound, and it's time for a little bit of music. So we're going to listen to some tunes by this week's guests, who are Sloth In The City.
charm our ears, derive their melody from rolling spheres, but fade their past in speculations bound, can see what sweetens every jungle sound, but fade their past in speculations bound, can see what sweetens every jungle sound. We who are parts of Adam heard within the song of angels and of seraphim. Our memory, though dull and sad, retains some echo still of those unearthly strains. Our memory, though dull and sad, retains some echo still of those unearthly strains. Music is the meat of all who love. Music uplifts the soul to realms above. The ashes glow, the latent fires increase. We listen and are fed with joy and peace. The ashes glow, the latent fires increase. We listen and are fed with joy and peace.
Someone jogging, walking their dog, or working out in the park is highly likely to have COVID-19. This is a national health emergency. Around 1 in 3 people have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. So exercise locally. If you're on your own, you can meet one other person. But keep your distance. Exercise, don't socialize. And wash your hands the moment you get home. Stop the spread. Stick to the rules. If you bend the rules, people will die. Stay home. Protect the NHS. Save lives. Someone on your bus, on your train, or waiting at the platform is highly likely to have COVID-19. This is a national health emergency. Around 1 in 3 people have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. So you should only travel if it's essential. Always cover your nose and mouth. Keep a safe distance from others. And wash your hands the moment you arrive. Stop the spread. Stick to the rules. If you bend the rules, people will die. Stay home. Protect the NHS. Save lives.
In the future, you'll be able to watch TV on your microwave. 3D print yourself a personal butler.
You rang, Mom?
And get fit by just looking at a treadmill. Okay, maybe not that. But wherever the technology does go, radio will go there too. Because Radio Player is working with the world's leading car and tech companies to keep radio out in front. Radio Player. In the car, in the home, in the future. Find out more at radioplayer.org.
You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wycombe Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain, and I'm joined here by Sloth in the City. So over to Sloth.
What was the last book that you read, and what did you think of it?
Wow. Betty, would you like to go ahead?
I don't remember the title in English. The Old Man.
Old Man and the Sea.
Old Man and the Sea.
Oh, it's a good answer.
Yeah. And it was...
what you thought of it?
I wrote a song on that book.
It's very in topic. Really nice question.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I wasn't sure if it was actually going to apply back to you guys as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It was, yeah.
What about me? I guess like I reread his Dark Materials back to back.
Great.
And it's just such a nice, like, Philip Pullman's style is just such a nice style of writing. I'm not usually like a massive fan of fantasy, but I really just like the way he writes and like the way he just like sets up situations without being overly descriptive.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are actually my favorite books. So in fact, I've read both of the books you mentioned as well, which is doesn't often happen. Cool. So to get onto the topic of Sloth in the City and your music, could you introduce the band and what you both do in it?
So we are a duo that was founded 4 years ago.
It says
almost 5 since we are together. Because
yeah,
we
basically
are
lasted as long as our relationship.
Yeah. So like 5 years almost.
Yeah.
Almost 5 years. And we started with some idea from me, like composition ideas, but and so for the saxophone, the soprano saxophone, and Andrea added a lot of musicality more with his acoustic guitar and his style that is a finger style.
Yeah, you can kind of see it as like a way percussive acoustic guitar can be blended into a situation that isn't necessarily solo guitar, and I'm quite happy with the way it's going, just because it's percussive guitar seems to be a bit of a gimmick, and I'm trying really hard to prove otherwise. That's kind of like my agenda in a sense. And it's like really nice to actually have someone beside me to play the melodies, and me not being center stage, but actually like being someone else's band in a sense.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I mean, so you mentioned like the percussive guitar, and you know there are I suppose quite a few different influences on your sound, and that's what kind of really interests me about it, because you've got almost like a sort of a classical element from like a classic I suppose like what I would call like a proper musician approach to it from Betty with the sax, and then you've got like almost elements of sort of folk in there as well. You know,
how many different genres do you reckon you blend together? And are there any that you wouldn't want to incorporate?
I think we play jazz, folk, classic, contemporary music, and we don't play pop together. I think pop, no.
Wow!
Just
So
a little. Maybe the last album will have some pop. Just one song.
there's a track in the album called Santiago, and that's definitely very Radioheady sort of
Yeah.
thing. Despite neither of us being a fan of Radiohead, which is quite
I
interesting.
was a fan before met him.
But I think it kind of describes what we came across. Like the folk side of it, it is a very happy accident, because I came across English folk just by stumbling upon the Folk Society when I was studying in Southampton, and that just like stuck to me as like something that I was just like missing in my life, and I started compulsively like listening to folk and playing sessions and that sort of stuff. And in comes Betty, who just learned all the European folk coming from French in Italy just by dancing in Italy. So like that's just like that became a very, very big influence in what we do. And then there's obviously jazz.
Yeah. But
Cool.
the main idea is not to have boundaries between genres. So we do what we like.
Yeah.
We don't care if we are doing jazz or if we are doing folk. We just do what we think it's good for us.
Simple, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that comes across though, because it's almost like you sort of create the music, and then it's sort of you sort of then have to look back at it and like look at what you've created and be like, okay, so how do we describe this to people, because it's just it's just your influences coming out in the music that you play, and it is like a melting pot of all the different genres, So can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming release? Can you tell us what it's called, when it's coming out, where people can listen to it, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's the release is called Remember Music. It's an EP. It's going to have 5 songs. We're going to have CDs, but the bulk of the releasing duties is going to be done by Bandcamp. So you're going to be able to buy the album either in CD or in digital release there. It's going to be released with a release party at the Wycombe Arts Centre on the 16th of July. And I guess the main theme there, interestingly enough, is the sea, and especially the Mediterranean Sea. That happened by accident, but I guess it must have been like that because of our influences, just because all of them are basically concentrated in the Mediterranean. But it just so happens that we had 5 songs, all of them being like related in some way to the sea. And then we moved to Brighton and we did a photo shoot by the sea. So like that element is really, really strong in that album. And that's about it. It's not a concept album, but it kind of almost as though it was.
Yeah. Cool. And so I guess because you moved to Brighton sort of mid-COVID, right? So I suppose you've not been able to enjoy Brighton as much as you might have done if everything was normal. But have you been able to get out and about in Brighton? Have you been able to play any gigs there?
We tried, but at the moment it is a little difficult because pubs have reopened, but they tend not to book gigs. It's a strange things. So if you want to play, you have to rent the pub for that gig. And at the moment, we are not doing this. We tried just to busk.
Yeah,
and it
but
was very
actually busking was all right. The thing is,
and
like,
it's free.
we're not established in Brighton as an act, as clearly not nearly as much as we'd be in Wycombe. And so like doing something like hiring a venue and like paying for everything up front and like expecting people to show up is definitely a gamble that we're not able to take at the moment. But I guess it's just a matter of time. So
well, again, I suppose even in kind of Wycombe, like the reason that I know you guys is from things like open mic nights, which are a great way to get your name, established in the area. But obviously, in the middle of COVID, there are no open mic nights, so it's
it was a very important channel for us, the open mics. But now, it's more difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna go through that drill again. It's just that the open mics are starting to pop up slowly but surely. So they are popping up slowly but surely, and hopefully, like, we really want to start doing that again. Actually,
Yeah.
we were just thinking about it the other day. Like, we just want to hit the scene.
Yeah.
You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wycombe Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. I'm here in conversation with Sloth in the City, and this is another one of their tunes from their upcoming EP. This is Habanera. That was Habanera by Sloth in the City. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wycombe Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain, and I'm here joined in conversation by the band themselves, Sloth in the City.
And because I think during COVID you've done a few like virtual gigs, haven't you? Didn't you do one for Brighton Fringe, or was that might have been just Betty actually? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Can't remember.
I did with my quartet for the Brighton Fringe Festival. 3 weeks.
And how did that go as an experience playing like a virtual gig?
It was good because we were a lot concentrated and focused, and a little also with emotions. Yeah, it was strange, but then when you finish and you do a very good solo, there is no one.
Yeah.
Lack of applause is just
yeah. It's oh no, it's a pity. But
there's no validation of the musical ego.
Yeah.
Well, it's, you know, that's the thing. Like, even with open mics, you know, I generally find with open mics, you could play the like worst set of your life and people would still clap just because people in general are polite and they kind of appreciate that you even got up and did it in the first place. So it's just so strange to do something like that, a gig where you can't, and I suppose you can't see the faces of people as well as you're playing to them as well. So it's sort of a different experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Turnout is also a big problem with live streams.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like people have become, I think, fatigued by the whole format, and so they just don't show up anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Cool. And so mentioning the Betty Accorsi trio, I wanted to ask, because you both have your own sort of projects going on as well. Andre, you've got The Ghoul. So can you tell us about both of them? Can you, like, Andre, if you tell us about The Ghoul, and Betty, if you tell us about the trio? Just let us know a little bit more about those.
Vergult is basically it's a project that was born out of a collection of songs that I wrote in 2016. And I was incredibly prolific that year, and I still can't get my head around what I did then. But basically, I wrote like an album's worth of material, and then I just that was what prompted me then to learn how to sing, because then you know, I had some songs to sing, and so like that took me 4 years, and that's why I then recorded them in 2020. And it's basically my sort of area where I can experiment as a solo guitarist and as a solo songwriter, and the way I kind of tried shaping what I think I should sound like, and what I think I should communicate. And I think what it is, like reverse engineering what I did, is trying to put a label on me. It's like percussive fingerstyle guitar meets some musical theater delivery of sassy lyrics.
Nice.
And yeah, that's what I strive to be when I play solo, basically.
Cool.
So I have this quartet. It's a quartet. It's called Betty Accorsi Quartet, and we did an album in September 2020 that is called the Catty Sark Suite, and it's 4 composition of mine about the Catty Sark, that is the ship in Greenwich. And we tried to do some gigs. We did the Brighton Fringe Festival, and I'm trying to book gigs for next year. And I'm also writing a new pieces for a second album. So the first one went very well. I think, I have to do another one and try to do as many gigs as possible.
They're amazing.
Yeah, it's very good. It's all students from Goldsmith, and it's sort of like jazz, but not traditional jazz, but with the punk stuff inside and with the folky elements. So yeah, I like melting pots and putting all together, all genres together.
Yeah, cool. And don't you do? Am I right in thinking you do? Do you do music lessons as well?
Yeah, I am music teacher now. I teach keyboards for the music service here in Brighton, and I teach piano and saxophone. If anyone wants a saxophone lesson, I can do.
Thing is, it'd be easier to mention the instruments that she doesn't play.
Yeah.
Or doesn't teach.
I'm
Well,
learning also the flute, the traverse flute.
Well, one of my questions I wanted to ask you is, between the two of you, and obviously the two of you living together as well, how many instruments are in your house?
Actually, probably not as many as some people think.
20.
Like, nah, much less than that. We probably
Much
don't
less.
hit 10. So, like, you know, many friends of mine are like, have got 23 guitars or something like that. I've got 4. I've only got 4 guitars. And then, like, you've got,
Then
I
there is a
think,
piano, electric piano, then 2 saxophone, 1 flute, 1 tin whistle, and 1 what is it, recorder? No, 2 recorders.
and we're going past 10.
Then
Yeah.
the harmonic,
Harmonicas too.
harmonics, 2
Yeah.
harmonics,
Bass, electric bass.
the electric
We've got
bass, the ukulele.
ukulele.
Then
There used to be a darbuka in here, and then we sold it.
yeah, we sold the darbuka, poor darbuka, and stop.
So we're at 15.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Well, as you say, there are people who've got 15 guitars as well, and even like 15 electric guitars, for example. And so, I mean, you've got a nice little selection of different instruments there as well. So, yeah, that's cool. Cool. Okay. So one of the questions that I wanted to ask about is the name Sloth in the City. Where does the name come from?
It comes from
you.
a very drunk night in Wycombe. And I think the philosophy is like some entity that is completely ill-equipped for a very high-pressure situation. So, like, a sloth that tries to survive in a city, and that, like, the city we're referring to is obviously London. But yeah, there's like that idea of like someone who just can't possibly cope if like with their own means. They just need to either seek help or just like reinvent themselves.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I like that. And I was going to build on that little theme because obviously sloth is one of the 7 deadly sins. I wondered if each of you was one of the 7 deadly sins, what sins do you think you would be?
Gluttony. Okay, we're both gluttony.
You're both gluttony. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so how does the songwriting process look for you guys? As obviously you're both musicians, do you write separately and bring ideas together, or do you sit down in a room and sort of jam until you get stuff? What does it look like?
It's interesting.
So yeah, usually I am the writer. But in the next album we have one song that we did together. That is Santiago. And at first, this is the only one we did together from the beginning. But because otherwise, so I have like an idea, and I try to put down, and then I show to him, and I say, "Do like this on the key on the guitar," and he tried to translate my gesture into music.
Yeah, basically, like she's mostly the writer, I'm mostly the arranger.
Yeah,
and I've actually never written a Sloth in the City song back to back. Just some days ago, since we wanted to have a slightly longer set of originals, I've written an arrangement for Betty of one of my own songs, which is actually yet unreleased. And that worked really, like, I just could picture how to deal with a soprano sax and how to deal with horns. It's actually not something that is in my training, so I wasn't able to do it before, but I think I'm slowly getting there. So perhaps in the future Sloth in the City release, there's going to be some material of my own too. But awesome. Yeah, so far it's been Betty the composer and me the
arranger.
Yeah, the guy putting like the little dots here and there.
Cool. That's awesome though. Okay, and in terms of like you guys, you know, with your music and the shows that you play, which acts would you most like to support as Sloth in the City? If you could support any bands or composers or orchestras or whatever.
Go for it.
So I have Ibrahim Malouf, that is a trumpet player that I love. Then Avishai Cohen.
Big time.
All my life. then that
Moroccan
is the
singer.
singer. Yeah, it is a singer, Moroccan singer, and
Basically,
Adam Benezra also.
Southern Mediterranean or
Yeah,
Israeli jazz players. That's kind of like the target that
yeah, we
we would
like.
go for.
Cool. Okay. So I think just a couple to end on now. So we've kind of covered the EP release. So I guess what's next for you guys after that release? Are you already looking forward to, you know, your next album, or are you going to be concentrating on promoting that for a while?
I think promoting it for a while.
We haven't thought of anything beyond like the end of the
Yeah.
summer, to be fair. There must be at some point a new session of songwriting. Hopefully, as I said, with me doing something
Yeah.
with it finally. I guess it's like we don't have a label, we don't have a contract, so we can't really say like, yeah, we're bound to release like 3 albums in the next 3 years. It would be really healthy if we did. And hopefully that's exactly what's going to happen. But I guess I think we need to consolidate not really a formula, but sort of like a musical identity in a more specific direction that can support like a full length.
Yeah.
So like 12 songs, that sort of format, and then I would imagine something like that to happen next year. I would hope for that to happen next year.
Well, I suppose as well, it kind of bits of it are quite organic as well between you guys. So I suppose partly like it's almost a case of just waiting to see what happens and where inspiration takes you. But also, yeah, as you say, it will help if you can guide it in a direction as well.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Cool. And where can people follow you guys to find out more?
Facebook, I think. Well, Facebook and Instagram are definitely like the platforms where we're most active. Bandcamp is gonna, materialize at some point, but it isn't public yet.
YouTube.
And YouTube, definitely, like basically YouTube if you want to hear us play, and there's like several recorded live streams, and then just Instagram and Facebook for tour live updates and things like that.
So that was Sloth in the City. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wycombe Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. And let's hear a little bit more of the Slothsters' music. So this is Santiago, again off their upcoming EP.
You will always price of what we haven't sold. You see, when you're more in my family, imploring to give it all up and stay. They talk with their heart, but they don't see the art in not being the mermaid's prey. I don't want to run away from here. I don't know other place to be. All this time I've spent away at sea, seeking my lucky wings. I don't want to run away from here. I don't know other place to be. All this time I've spent away at sea. Now I'm with my lucky wings. I don't want to run away from here. I got no other place to be. All this time I've spent away at sea, seeking my lucky wings. I don't want to run away from here. I got no other place to be. All this time I've spent away at sea. Now I'm with my lucky wings.
Someone on your street, at your supermarket, or in your park is highly likely to have COVID-19. This is a national health emergency. Around 1 in 3 people have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. So it's critical we stay home. Don't meet anyone outside your household or support bubble except for exercise. Only go out if it's essential. Stop the spread. Stick to the rules. If you bend the rules, people will die. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
How are you listening to this radio station right now? In the car, at home, online, on your smartphone, laptop, voice-activated smart speaker, tablet, fridge? Whew. These days, there are so many different ways to listen, it's not surprising radio is more popular than it's ever been. Wherever the technology goes from here, Radio Player is working with the world's leading car and tech companies to ensure that radio goes with it. Radio Player. In the car, in the home, in the future. Visit radioplayer.org.
You could be driving in your car. You could be walking your dog. You might just be working. But whatever you're doing, you're also listening to Wycombe Sound 106.6 FM. And if you're in business, your potential new customers could be listening too. So talk to them and let them know what you have to offer. Radio is a cost-effective and proven way to get your message across. And Wycombe Sound 106.6 FM could put together an affordable package that could work for you. So call 01494 449900 or email contact@wycombesound.org.uk.
My baby don't care for shows. My baby don't care for clothes. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. My baby don't care for high-tone places. This sailor is not his eye, and even Lana Turner's smile is something he can see. there is no his side. And even Lana Turner's smile is something he can see. Is something he can see. I wonder what's wrong with baby. My baby just cares for. My baby just cares for. My baby just cares for me.
That was My Baby Just Cares For Me by one half of Sloth in the City, Betty Accorsi. And before that we had Santiago by Sloth in the City. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM or Wycombe Sound. I'm your host Dane Cobain, and it's time for us to head over to the Yorkshire to catch up with Twangling Jack Ford for this week's album review. Twangling Jack.
Natty Dread, Bob Marley and the Wailers. Between the shiny happy fiesta and sparkling eyeshadow of glam rock, and the nihilistic, grimly determined speedy rush and smudged black eyeliner of punk and all the post-punk genres, there was the tedious period of adult-orientated rock. It was during that malaise that I first saw Bob Marley and the Wailers on TV, performing Lively Up Yourself. And it got better. I immediately bought the Natty Dread album, as did so many others. It has the original, though less well-known, faster version of No Woman No Cry. In the languid days of that long hot summer, you could almost taste the dust and the cornmeal porridge, and feel like you were part of an angry mob, a hungry mob, and feel like bombing a church, even though you are a suburban teenager working as a bank clerk. Natty Dread, Bob Marley.
Alright, big thanks to Twangling Jack Ford for this week's album review. Thank you to Sloth in the City for joining me for a little chat and for sharing some of their music. We're going to leave you with one last tune until next week. But before we do that, as always, you've been listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM at Wycombe Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. You can reach out to me here at the studio on dane.cobain@wycombesound.org.uk. That's dane.cobain at wycombesound.org.uk. I'm always interested in hearing from local creatives, anyone with news, events, stuff, anyone who would like to be a guest on the show, people with MP3s, anybody who'd like to contribute to the Rye Zone as well. If you're interested, to get in touch with me. You can also find us on Facebook by searching for The Art Show on Wycombe Sound, and of course we're repeated here on Wycombe Sound every Monday night. We're on the Wycombe Sound Listen Again, and you can catch up with previous shows on iTunes and Spotify, all of that good stuff. So, I'm going to leave you with this last tune. This is New Orleans by Straight 8. I'll see you next week.
Come on, everybody take a trip with me, yeah. Down to Mississippi, down to New Orleans. Honeysuckle growing from the honeysuckle vine now. Good love just oozing there all the time. Every southern band is a Mississippi queen. Down to Mississippi, down to New Orleans. Yeah. Say, look out. Yeah, yeah. the Mississippi down to New Orleans. Honeysuckle brewing from the honeysuckle vine now. Woo! 'Cause love just oozing there all the time. Every southern band there's a Mississippi queen. Down the Mississippi down to New Orleans. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Woo. Come on. Come on. Come on. Every summer band there's a Mississippi queen. Down the Mississippi, down to New Orleans.
This is Wycombe Sound.